What's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about the brand new map Karkin and why PUBG put this map into the game, and does PUBG want us to win more? So this is something that wasn't even on my radar. I wanted to make a video about this brand new map with the launch of Season 6, and then during the middle of my live stream on Friday, it all kind of clicked. I'm not saying that this is the case, but it all kind of clicked that I think the reason why this map of this size, 2 by 2 kilometers, is in the game, the smallest map ever, is so that players can win more and potentially have more fun. And then this brings up the age-old question, is it more fun to win? And I think most of us can agree that it is. And this reminds me of the famous Herm Edwards interview. He was an NFL coach for the New York Jets, where he said, you play to win the game.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
And if you think about it, one of the reasons why Battle Royale is so popular is because the odds of winning are so low. If you look at PUBG and most other Battle Royale games, if you're playing solos, you have a 1 in 100 chance of winning. If you're playing in squads, it might be a 1 in 25 chance if you're playing with 4-man squads. But in either case, the odds are very, very low, and simply just coming down with the chicken dinner is a great feeling. Whether you got 1 kill, 2 kills, or 10 kills, you're just really excited that you won. But for other players who may be struggling in the game and not winning that often, this could be decreasing their experience in the game or kind of ruining for them, and they may be leaving. And in PUBG's current situation right now, let's just look at the facts. I love PUBG. It's my favorite game. I'm a huge supporter of it, but PUBG is losing a player base. It makes sense. The game's been out for a few years now. As games go on, they do lose players in the community, and people leave, go and play other games, right? There's a lot of big titles out there, a lot of other battle royales, but PUBG has survived a lot of the storm, no pun intended, and maybe this is an attempt to get players to come back and have a better experience playing the game. I'm not sure, but there's a lot that I kind of want to go over in this video. So the reason why this kind of came to my attention was the footage in the background here is from my Friday stream, and this is a really interesting game. Second day that this map is live on console. It came out a week after PC, so this launched on January 30th, and this gameplay is from the 31st, the day after, on Friday. And at this point, as I'm recording this video, I've played 2 times since the map came out, and I have 13 wins on the map. So this prompted me to look at my stats. And on this day, we won 7 total games. I think we had already won 6 games at this point, and this game is our 7th win. And the reason why I said this game is so interesting is because we won with only a few kills total in about 14 and a half minutes. So this is by far the fastest chicken dinner that I've ever earned in PUBG, other than maybe a time that everyone disconnected and it said that I won, but I didn't, or something like that. But this is the fastest legitimate game that I've ever played, and I've seen some people, I think Average Sniper posted that he won a game in like 10 or 11 minutes on this new map, which could be a world record, who knows? So people are getting some really fast wins on Karkin, and it makes sense because even if the game takes a really long time, it's still only going to be 18, 19 minutes. I don't even know if it could reach 20 minutes. And then if you look at the other maps, you got Erangel, Miramar, Vikendi, Sanhok. These games range anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes. And if you're playing Erangel and Miramar, which are the biggest maps, these are the games that last 30 minutes plus, right? And just to go over the map size here, just for reference, Erangel and Miramar are the biggest maps. They're 8 by 8 kilometers, but that's actually just the map size when you say those numbers. The actual landmass, Miramar is bigger because it's not a full island when Erangel has 2 islands. So Miramar is the biggest map, followed by Erangel, even though the canvas size is the same. Then you have Vikendi at 6 by 6, and then you have Sanhok at a 4 by 4, but again the island sizes are smaller than the map size. So then when there's always a lot of talk when the new map is coming out, or is there a new map coming out? What should the new map be? There's also a side story of people don't like that there's new maps. Some people love the new maps. I personally like that PUBG puts new maps into the game, but there's been a lot of talk about a Venice map. Should they do an urban map? Should they do a map that combines all the maps? Should they do a map that's even bigger? And it seems like this is complete anecdotal evidence here, but it seems like if you talk to a lot of hardcore players, that most people love Erangel and they want to see that always be a featured map that you can play. And just from talking talking to people in my stream and other PUBG players, it seems like most people love the traditional Battle Royale experience that is a bigger map, that is a longer game. But for me, personally, I feel like I'm in the minority here. My favorite map is Sanhok, and coming from playing Call of Duty and a lot of fast-paced games, that was my favorite addition to the game. It really got me to play on a daily basis because of how fast the game was. Better chances for you to get loot, get into the action quicker, run into enemy players, and less downtime, which I prefer. And I know a lot of people that play Battle Royale like the relaxed survival atmosphere, and I've learned to really enjoy that, and I love those maps now, and I like that play style. But when I first got into the game, into Battle Royale from Call of Duty and Halo and Battlefield, I didn't enjoy that experience as much, and Sanhok kind of helped me get into that because then I appreciated the genre a little bit more, and also the strategy behind surviving. So when after Sanhok came out, I wanted to see, I'm like, let's go even smaller. Let's do a 2x2 map, 1x1 map, just insane. Maybe even, decrease the amount of players. I want to see almost like a TDM, but Battle Royale style map. And I felt like I was definitely in the minority there. And then to see all these people talk about how they want a big map or all the maps combined, to fast forward to today, when they launched a 2x2 map, I was very surprised that they went in this direction, but it didn't prompt me to think that this is why. But obviously PUBG, and any game developer for that matter, is going to put a lot of thought and time into what they're doing, what they're developing, and what's going into the game, and how it's going to affect it, right? How it's going to affect gameplay, how it's going to affect player feedback, the community, all that kind of stuff, people's stats. And obviously in a Battle Royale game, people are really into their stats, and even PUBG displays that stuff, like whether you hot drop or not, what is your average survival time. So putting in a really small map like this is going to bring your survival time down, because the total map length is a lot shorter than the other games. So I know this is just a small stat here, but it's something that prompted me to think about this whole thing in a nutshell, because I saw my survival time going down, and usually that's a small symbolism or signifier of a player's skill, right? Of course, players can just camp. You can be disconnected and make it 20 minutes into a game if you disconnect in the circle, but it is one of the many variables that shows, are you good at Battle Royale and the strategy behind the game, right? The balance between surviving and also getting kills, which are the two main aspects, and which allows Battle Royale to be such a popular genre for all skill levels of players. So you just keep going on and on about this stuff. But to bring this back, so to PUBG and what they're thinking and why they put this in the game, they must have put a lot of thought. And when you go over all the stats, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, right, on the other maps here, when you have a 1 in 100 chance of winning, it's pretty low. But then when you look at Karkin, you have a 1 in 64 chance of winning. And obviously I saw this and I was playing the PTS, but I really wasn't thinking about, oh wow, this means that more people are going to be winning when you're playing this new featured playlist, because you now have a 1 in 64 chance. And the games are so fast that you're going to be able to play way more games in an hour than you can on the other maps, especially Erangel and Miramar. And then when you look at this with squads, say you're playing squads on Erangel, you have a 1 in 25 chance if it's all 4-man squads. If you play on Karakin, you have a 1 in 16 chance of winning in your squad. So even if you die and your squad goes on, you still have a better chance than on all of the other maps combined, just because of the fewer players. And this didn't really click until Friday's stream, when I realized I had 7 wins. And then after the stream, I started receiving messages from many other players in our community, and also seeing on social media that people had won many games on Karkin. They were having a ton of fun, despite this being a really frustrating map, in my opinion, to play. One of my friends from the stream messaged me, and he also won 5 games on Friday, and I've been seeing a lot of people posting chicken dinners on social media. But like I said, the map, when it first came out, there was a lot of people complaining about it being easy to get third party, just crazy action, not enough loot. And to me, this map sort of reminds me of Sanhok, even smaller Sanhok with Miramar cover, right? There's just hills and rocks, and it's so easy because the terrain is so intense. It's very steep in some areas on the mountains. You could be right on the other side of another team on a mountain and really have no idea. So it does create some frustrating experiences. There's not a lot of cover in between the different compounds and areas, which is probably a topic for another video about the current meta and how to win on this map. Despite there being less players, it's still very difficult, in my opinion, to win in this one, but your just chances are better than the other map. That's the whole point of this video. And going back to that is, does that provide a better experience? Is this sort of skewing people's view of the map? I have no idea. I'm not going to accuse that. that people are enjoying this map more because they're winning more. But I'm just putting some theories out there into the universe, into the PUBG universe, to see what you guys think about this. What do you think about this new map? Have you been winning more? Are you playing a lot of games? Do you enjoy the fact that you can get into a quick game? I know that personally, I really enjoyed that I got a bunch of games in within the hour, and I felt like you get right into the action. It's pretty fast paced. There's some games where you can simply land and be in action the entire time until the end of the game, which is so completely different. It seems like they've just completely cut out the middle part of all of the other maps where you're kind of driving around, just getting into circle and not seeing anybody for a while. When in this game, it's hard to move around, or in this map, it's hard to move around and not see people or not hear other people shooting. But ironically here, this gameplay that you've been watching in the background does not do this map justice, because over the course of playing for 4 or 5 hours on Friday, we sort of determined that playing passive and staying away from enemies does give you the best chance to win on this map because of the sheer chaos. So I might not have picked the best map to show you guys how crazy this map is, but I wanted to show you this game because of how quick it was and how easy it is to win. Because not that a chicken dinner is easy, but if you just play passive and stay away from enemy players, which isn't easy and it is sort of luck based, but if you have your whole squad at the end of a game, it can be really easy to eliminate the other players because of how difficult it is to reach the end with a full squad. So at the end here, you'll see there's a bunch of people that are knocked. There's like no full squads. We're running into solo players, 2-man squads that are remaining from their team. Just because we positioned ourselves in the circle, we stayed away from everybody and made it to the end. And I really would love to see what you guys think down in the YouTube comments below, just because I find this stuff kind of interesting and it was something that popped into my head sort of last minute. So please share your opinions down below. And as always, thank you all for watching. I'm Blitz5, and peace out.